Thank you for joining us today. And today we'll talk about some information about the ASEAN EU Business Summit. And firstly, what is the opportunity that Vietnam can gain from this EU ASEAN Business Summit?
Vietnam is a key economy within ASEAN. So this summit is about promoting the greater cooperation between the European Union, which is a big economic bloc, and ASEAN, which is already a big economic bloc but likely to become much bigger. Vietnam, being a key economy, also being a relatively lesser developed economy compared to some of the bigger economies in ASEAN, has special benefits to gain from both a greater integration within ASEAN, the formation of the ASEAN Economic Community, as also establishing trade with a big bloc like the European Union.
So, what will be the impact of the ASEAN EU Business Summit on Vietnam export?
It is very difficult to isolate one activity. It is not that because the summit has happened today, something will change suddenly tomorrow. But it is an important milestone. It is important to keep the improvement happening. Trade between Vietnam and other countries will improve as Vietnam industry becomes more competitive. Its financial sector becomes more competitive. Its manufacturing, its production, its logistics, its infrastructure becomes more competitive. And in the past decade, especially, Vietnam has made a lot of progress in improving its infrastructure. Its exports have been growing. It is now exporting electronics, not just rice, which of course it is very big at. So it has to continue to improve its products, its infrastructure. And some of that happens because of a two-way trade. When you have trade coming in from more advanced parts of the world, like say the Europe, you get new technology, newer practices, newer skills, newer manufacturing methods, and so on. So trade, in my opinion, is a big facilitator to improve the economy, and more trade will improve exports of Vietnam over a period of time. I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yep, and we know that Vietnam and the EU are now on the process of the FTA negotiation. So, what will be the impact of this summit on the negotiation process of Vietnam-EU FTA?
Yeah, this is a summit between EU and ASEAN, and the long-term goal is to have an FTA between the two trading blocs. But simultaneously, it makes sense to have FTAs between separate countries within ASEAN and the EU, which is where the Vietnam EU FTA comes in. An FTA always creates both challenges and opportunity. For some industries, it becomes more challenging because they have to compete. The markets have become more open. They have to compete with other companies in other parts of the world because generally the tariffs will come down. But it also creates opportunities because not only for your goods, but also to improve yourself. The competition generally will make it more difficult for the less efficient companies, but it will help the more efficient companies. And the more efficient companies in the country then improve, and the economy then improves. In our experience at Standard Chartered, we believe that freer trade generally has led to improvement in growth rates and improvement in competitiveness and improvement in innovation in most countries.
Yeah, and that's all for the interview today. And again, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.